And before we get chatting with Sebastien Boyle, let's give a shout out to our new Winner The Mailman sponsor, Auto Wizard. You all might be familiar with the Auto Wizard, located at 2910 Red Barn Drive in Gearing. Shop is open Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5, and Friday, 7:30 to 4:30 p.m. for all your light truck and automotive repairs. As the mechanics at Auto Wizard like to say, get your vehicle fixed right the first time. Be calling them at 308-633-1191 to book your service. And as we said, tonight we have Scottsbluff sensation, call him the sophomore sensation running back, Sebastien Boyle. Welcome to Winner The Mailman tonight. Sebastien, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me over.
You listen up a little, man. It's just me. But so I guess the first question is, overall, how do you think you guys' season went this year?
I think it went pretty good. We set some goals and we achieved them. Didn't go as planned in the playoffs though, so we'll get it next year.
Well, you said didn't go as planned in the playoffs, man. You guys had, in the Class B in state Nebraska has always been by far the toughest class in the state. And, you guys had, Aurora was, I'm sorry, but those guys were tough this year. They were really good. They lost their first 2 games of the season and then just came back with a vengeance and just started tearing things up. But, you guys did, essentially the same thing. You guys struggled a little bit early, lost that game to Fort Morgan, able to pick up a couple wins here. You guys got 2 quick losses pretty early on in the season, but strung a bunch together and was able to kind of get things going there. When did you guys finally feel like you turned the corner?
I think it was the week preparing for Grand Island. We were just really sad, just changing our ways and getting better as a team together and just winning. Well,
and I think that Northwest team, I don't think a lot of people gave you guys really a chance in that game. Northwest was supposed to be pretty tough this season.
The cannon probably didn't help that one, especially with that one.
Probably not, but I don't think a lot of people, and you guys went out there and handled them pretty well, and you guys were able to kind of cruise through the season until you ran into Aurora again. So, if you ask me, it's a successful season if 2 of your 3 losses are to the number 2 team in the state, which was Aurora this year. So, let's talk about, you came in as a freshman, right? You came to Scottsbluff as a freshman, and although Mr. Hawksworth and I have talked about this, why don't you kind of explain to us how it all came about that you ended up in Scottsbluff, Nebraska?
Well, my other school at the moment had 2 choices of playing in the fall and spring, and they weren't that good of a team, so they decided to play in the spring, but I was working all summer. I didn't want to waste all that talent and time, so I decided to go somewhere. And the 2 options were somewhere in Texas or Nebraska. My parents thought Nebraska would be the best fit for me.
I was going to say, what landed you in Scottsbluff, specifically? Did you do some research on the school and kind of the program?
Yeah, it was a good school.
Yeah.
And good team. Good sports. Competitive. And I like that.
And it's still only 5 hours really from home. You guys know it's not a bad drive back to Colorado Springs. And so, and I think, and Bryanna and I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, is, how that kind of came about. Well, Mr. Hawksworth and I were actually standing on the track one night, and I was like, man, that kid from last year to this year. And that was just it, man. You came in as a freshman playing some JV ball and stuff, and Mr. Hawksworth was like, well, yeah, he's a good kid. He didn't really feel like he wanted to step on anybody's toes or anything like that. But when you came in this year, man, you took over that job, and, how big was it for when Braden Stoll came in? Because you guys were a 1-2 punch that, man, it was really exciting to watch you guys.
Oh, he was a big impact. We were really excited to hear him come, and we were just excited to see what he can do for the team.
You were pretty much unstoppable. Nobody could take you down. Obviously, Aurora was able to, but they basically knew from the earlier meeting. So, what was the difference between that first meeting and the second meeting between Aurora?
The key on you. I know they keyed on you. I mean, I listened to that game.
And I mean, we talked about it with Hall like the previous week too. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Just try to find the hole, make the hole, try to gain some yards. Play by play, I guess.
Yeah.
My bad.
So let's kind of move on, because obviously fall sports are over. Football's kind of behind you right now, but you are a 3-sport athlete, correct?
Yep.
Wrestler and track?
Mm-hmm.
And wrestling kind of near and dear to my heart, because I grew up wrestling too. So, you know, you're walking into now wrestling season with Coach Stadola. Have you guys haven't practiced or anything yet, have you?
Oh, 2 days have started.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. First practice of the year was November 15th.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure when the football players were gonna have to report, but Coach Stadola getting you guys going.
Mm-hmm.
And what weight what are you looking at this year? Probably
195.
95. Yeah. And you don't look it. You don't look it, man. You just solid.
Oh.
That's it. I mean, well, you tall, thin. I mean, I wouldn't take you for 195 pounds, but I'm 195 pounds, and you're about a foot taller than I am. So.
What are you looking toward with wrestling? Yes.
I'm looking for the tournaments, state, and also Raising Cane's, just to get through afterwards.
What is it with you guys and Raising Cane's, man? I don't. My wife tried it in North Platte. She didn't like it. I've never tried Raising Cane's. But
I haven't either, but I'm also from Los Angeles, so my thing was In-N-Out, so.
Yeah, if we had an In-N-Out burger, I wouldn't be here right now. Because I'd probably
Colorado
be
Springs
there.
has two.
Well, Denver, I know Denver has one. We didn't get to go to it then. Okay, let's gather ourselves back up here. We're talking to one of the top running backs in the Panhandle, is Sebastien Boyle. You still got 2 more years, man. What are your goals at Scottsbluff High School coming up in these next couple of years? Because I guarantee you, you're going to make coaches rip hair out here coming up in the next couple of years. They're not going to want to deal with you.
I feel like they wanted to do that now.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to deal with them enough this year, and they still got to deal with them for 2 more years. So what are your goals at Scottsbluff? I mean, as far as toting the rock, man, is that your main sport? Is football your main thing?
Mm-hmm.
So what are your goals?
Well, beat Chris Busby's career.
Busby's, yeah, and Busby.
And Sebastian Harris's. Beat all conference and all state. Team.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Oh.
You stay healthy, I think you're going to be just fine as far as that goes. Now you talk about Busby and Harsh. Those are 2 of the best Scottsbluff players to ever play the game at Scottsbluff. That's pretty tall order, man. But I watched you play. I watched both those guys play their whole careers, and I love Busby, Harsh. I love you guys, but this kid right here is the real deal. So he's coming for you, and I mean, and then as far as after high school goes, you want to go play D1? What do you want to do?
I want to go to Texas A&M.
Hey, that's not a bad place.
He went to school.
He knows where he wants to go now. That's it.
Have you been contacted yet? I mean, I know you're just a sophomore, but
Going to a lot of camps in the summer there. So.
did you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you got the climate down there, and you got some SEC type football. So, hey, if you can do it, do it. Bryanna?
I mean, if you think about it, you've also got Stoll for another year. So, what's this Scottsbluff team going to look like next year?
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. What do you think of your coaching staff here at Scottsbluff? What do you think of your coaching staff at Scottsbluff, Coach Hall and Mr. Deaver, all those guys?
They're pretty good coaches.
Pretty good. And compared to the school that you came from, as far as the way we do things here in Nebraska compared to the way they did things in Colorado Springs.
Oh, way better. Better industry, better coaching. Felt more like home. They didn't really communicate with you. Any of that.
And the smaller school atmosphere, how's that? How did you respond to that? Has that been a lot easier for you?
Mm-hmm.
That people open their arms. This community is great for people opening their arms for new people. I mean, it's such a tight-knit community that, I mean, how did you feel when, you finally started to settle into the school? I mean, in Colorado Springs, it's probably 3 times the people in your class as there was here.
That also depended on the school, though.
True.
There were some schools that are bigger.
Kind of stressed. Didn't really know anybody, but they opened their arms. Like you said, felt like home.
Aside from that, was there any other major difference between Colorado Springs and here?
A little bit hotter.
Sure, because if you go farther south, it gets really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it
It's
does get a lot
Pueblo.
hotter here. We're on the other side of we're on the other side of the front range, so wait till it gets cold. You've been here during the winter time, so. But that's all I've got, and we look forward to watching you this wrestling season.
Well, aside from football being your favorite of the 3, why is it your favorite?
I just fell in love with it. It's just something I enjoy a lot more than wrestling and track. Like, no offense to wrestling and track. I love those sports, but football's like my game.
Sounds like somebody else I know named Garrett Nelson said pretty much the same thing. So I mean, but that's all I've got tonight, Sebastien, Bryanna.
I mean, that's pretty much all I've got, but thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for just the entertainment this fall, because you were one of the funnest to watch. And
I mean, you be dragging what, like 4 guys?
Oh yeah, I had a ball watching you play. I had a ball. I made every attempt I could to come up and pat you on the shoulder pad and let you know that hey man, you're looking good, and just keep it up, man. I look forward to covering you the next couple of years, man. I'm already marking down all those home games, so I want to make sure that that I'm on the sidelines when you're playing for the next couple of years. I want to see history be made. So you have to bring me history now.
All right, I will. Will do.
That's all I've got.
So well, we're hoping that you can actually break those records. Do you think he's going to do it this next year, or his senior year?
It might take both, but I don't know what I don't know what all his yards and stuff were, but yeah, you could probably do it this year. I mean, I don't remember Buzz and Harsh playing as much in their sophomore season, so you got all chance in the world, man. And we're here to back you up and see it come down the pike.
Once again, thank you for joining us here tonight. So we'd like to close tonight's podcast by again giving some recognition to Auto Wizard, our Winner and the Mailman sponsor. Remember, at the Auto Wizard, you can get your vehicle fixed the first time by booking your service at the business at 2910 Red Barn Drive in Gearing. They are available to meet your light truck and automotive repair needs Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5 p.m. and Friday, 7:30 to 4:30 p.m. Give them a call at 308-633-1191 today, and we will see you all next week.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.